Good evening. 7 workers were injured this morning after an explosion at a North York condo building that is currently under construction.
4 of those suffered critical injuries. The investigation into what caused the explosion now underway. CTV's Beth Macdonell joins us live from the scene near Shepherd and Leslie with more. Beth.
Nathan, this is a large condo development, and this was a serious gas explosion. And of the 7 workers hurt, 4 have critical injuries and are in life-threatening condition. Workers burned in the gas explosion were assessed on the ground by paramedics. This man on a stretcher, this man at the back of an ambulance. As a mass exodus of employees made their way out of the 3 towers in the condo development under construction.
We heard on the radio that there was a big explosion. One of our guys was up there. His name's Peter. He seems to be doing okay compared to some of the other people, but yeah, it's not good.
Firefighters say the blast happened around 9:15 in the morning in a penthouse utility boiler room on the 28th floor. 3 workers went to a local hospital with serious injuries. 4 workers went to a trauma center with critical injuries and are in life-threatening condition.
It's the number one for safety, and we're higher risk than the police, than the fire department. It's a risky job, so I'm not surprised.
The site, called King's Landing, is being built by Concord in North York on Esther Shiner Boulevard near Shepherd and Leslie, not far from North York General Hospital.
Reported that there was a gas explosion, and we had patients exhibiting signs of burns.
As a result of the explosion is what I can tell you. I can't get into the specific nature of their injuries.
Crews are not revealing the type of gas that exploded, but say when they arrived there was no fire. Still, it was a long trek out for the injured workers. It's not clear if elevators were used, as some workers used stairs to evacuate.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but it's all right. I'm pretty chill with it right now. Just processing everything.
What are you thinking about for those that were burned?
Hoping that they're okay and they make it home to their families.
Yeah, one of them at least I know was a woman as well. I hope they're all doing good. Very serious. Didn't look good.
The Ontario Fire Marshal says an investigator and engineer have been dispatched. It and the Ministry of Labour are investigating. We have reached out to Concord for comment on the gas explosion and are awaiting a reply. Reporting live on Beth Macdonell. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Beth. Just ahead, the latest on a fire at a former tire plant in Bowmanville that has residents worried about the potential for long-term health effects. We'll hear from officials in minutes. But first, it's an off day for the Toronto Blue Jays, who are off to Seattle to take on the Mariners in Game 3 of the ALCS tomorrow.
The Jays have dropped the first 2 games of the series here at home, but fans aren't writing them off just yet. CTV's Sean Leathong is live tonight outside Rogers Centre. Sean, what's the mood like down there?
Well, Michelle, Blue Jays fans certainly did not see this coming, and Mariners fans didn't see this coming. And now if the Blue Jays are going to win this series, they have to beat very long odds. Reaction to yesterday's 10-3 loss to the Seattle Mariners in the American League Championship Series is clear.
It was not fun at all. Well, it's a little depressing.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's hard to believe, really, but that's baseball, I guess.
Entering the weekend, the Blue Jays had everything going for them. The team rested at home, with Seattle coming into town seemingly tired. But just like that, the Jays are down 2-0 and headed to Seattle for 3 straight games.
They just didn't hit the ball. They looked ill-prepared, to be honest.
You expect a lot more out of the bullpen, and with Vladdy.
Through the first 2 games of the series, the Blue Jays have been outscored 13-4. Contrast that with the Yankees series, where the Jays scored 23 runs in the first 2 games. And in this series, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has yet to record a hit. A surprise to Mariner fans Matthew Bolden and Kristen Young, who flew in for the games.
And I thought maybe we would take 1 here and go home 1-1.
Like, I felt bad for some of the Toronto fans because they're like, you guys are the only ones smiling right now.
And Seattle has reason to be excited. In baseball, there have been 93 times a team has gone up 2-0 in a 7-game series. That team has won the series 78 times, or just under 84%. This afternoon in Seattle, Blue Jays pitcher Jeff Hoffman says that this team is not one that concerns themselves with odds.
We take every challenge for what it is, which is, its own thing. We don't drag last night or think about, what's going to happen in the future. We stay in the now. And
Lori Radicki traveled from Saskatoon to see both games this weekend. She says the numbers mean nothing.
coming back. Don't even, no, they're coming back. I know it. I feel it.
The Blue Jays led the majors with 49 comeback wins this year, and they managed to sweep a 3-game series in Seattle back in May.
You think they're coming back to Toronto for Game 6?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt.
Yeah, I think that you might have a chance. I'm hoping not.
Don't want to sound like I'm jumping off the bandwagon, but I think that the train's almost gone, yeah.
We done it before. We can do it again. I love the Jays.
So in those numbers I presented earlier, you can see that 15 teams have come back from down 2 games to none and won the series. But of those 15 teams, only 2 dropped the first 2 games at home before heading out the road and coming back and winning the series. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Michelle, send it back to you.
We can do it. Thank you, Sean. And as our Jays settle into Seattle, here in Toronto, we have been enjoying a beautiful blue sky today. Look at this sunset, beautiful colors as we look at the lake, and not bad at all temperature-wise. And guess what? We're not expecting any rain for a little while. Lindsay Morrison is here with all the sunny details. Lindsay.
Yeah, Michelle, it was a pretty nice start to what for many is a short work and school week. Hope everyone had a great long weekend. Weather-wise, yeah, not only did we have that beautiful sunshine, but we had some warm temperatures. We've cooled down a little bit now at 19 degrees in Toronto, but we spent a good portion of this afternoon at 21. Not bad for mid-October. Now, we are starting to tap into some gusty northerly winds. The winds are particularly strong around Muskoka right now. There's the satellite and radar imagery. Again, mainly clear skies. We've seen a little bit of an increase in cloud cover in some areas, but it's not necessarily cloudy. It's just a little bit in the sky. Overnight tonight, then we can experience some mainly cloudy skies once we move past midnight. 7 degrees is near normal for this time of year. And here's a little sneak peek at what's in store for tomorrow. You are going to notice a change in the temperature. We'll take you through everything you need to know for your Wednesday coming up. For now, Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Still ahead tonight, we'll show you the new $75 million commercial the province is launching, aimed at convincing Americans tariffs are a bad plan, using the words of one of their most popular presidents. A man in his 30s has been arrested for impaired driving after crashing into the back of a police cruiser in North York. It happened just after 4:15 this morning, while police were stopped near Bathurst and Wilson, investigating an earlier crash. One officer was in the vehicle when it was rear-ended. They were taken to hospital with minor injuries.
The mayor of Vaughan announced a plan to buy cameras to address what he calls the #1 concern among residents, community safety.
Today, Deputy Mayor Jackson and myself are announcing that we are bringing forward a joint members' resolution to next week's Committee of the Whole meeting that, if approved by our council colleagues, would mean that the city would be investing directly, supporting YRP with the purchase and ultimately the operation of up to 10 new CCTV, or as I like to call them, crime-fighting cameras here in our community.
The cameras would be operated by York Regional Police, who have already identified 6 locations for installation. The provincial government has said it is looking to expand the use of surveillance cameras in municipalities to help catch suspects.
Flames brought a TTC bus to a halt in North York this afternoon. This viewer video shows flames coming from a TTC bus that had pulled over to the side of the road near York Mills and Leslie. Toronto Fire say it happened around 2:40 this afternoon on a hybrid bus. The bus was fully involved when crews arrived on scene, and all passengers had been evacuated. Nobody was hurt, and the fire was extinguished.
Firefighters were back at the scene of the old Goodyear plant in Bowmanville today, targeting hot spots after the building went up in flames over the long weekend. In the early morning hours Monday, the abandoned Goodyear plant on Queen Street was suddenly aglow, flames shooting from the roof, firefighters attacking from above.
You could see a bright orange glow emanating from behind the trees.
Kevin Nesbitt lives nearby. He says this is far from the first fire at the old rubber plant, but this one was substantially larger.
The smell was maybe a battery acid smell. Maybe that's probably what you would expect from a factory, perhaps. We're very fortunate in that the wind was not coming our direction.
A day later, our CTV News chopper offering a bird's-eye view of all the damage.
A little bit of smoke again.
Firefighters returned, working to extinguish more hot spots.
The Clarington fire chief says the Ministry of the Environment was on site and took samples. When asked about the risk to the environment,
what was determined from the site assessment with the Ministry of Environment is that all the water was contained on site. There was no water that was discharged into the creek.
Officials say there is no risk to air quality at this time, but they're asking residents to stay away from the site. The former Goodyear lands are owned by a developer. Fire officials noting the site has been on their radar for a while, plagued by trespassers. Orders have been issued to secure the property. And last year there was unauthorized demolition activity, and the municipality of Clarington ordered it stopped amid fears over hazardous substances present from years of industrial activity. The mayor now says, given the current state of the old plant, it has to come down.
At this point in time, given the integrity issues on the building, we will be requiring that the building be demolished.
What was once a landmark of Bowmanville's industrial history, now in ruins.
The Ontario government is launching a new commercial to air south of the border aimed at convincing Americans that tariffs are a bad idea, in the words of one of their own presidents.
The $75 million commercial features a speech given by Ronald Reagan back in 1987. Premier Doug Ford hopes those words will resonate with average Americans today. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has the story.
This is a new Ontario ad against tariffs that the government hopes will capture the eyes and ears of Americans.
Rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
Using the voice of former Republican President Ronald Reagan to make the case. The Premier showed it off before a speech in front of the Empire Club in Toronto.
It's not a nasty ad. It's actually just very factual, and coming from a person like Ronald Reagan, every Republican is going to identify that voice.
The cost of the ad, $75 million, hitting stations like Fox, NBC, ABC, ESPN, CBS, and many local affiliate stations over the next 2 weeks. Using words from that 1987 address from Reagan to emphasize the damage of tariffs and trade wars.
Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
We're going to repeat that message to every Republican district there is, right across the entire country.
Doug Ford's been trying to do some of that outreach on a one-to-one basis, hosting governors, including at least one Republican.
We're proud of the relationship between Utah and Ontario.
But these are leaders already aligned with Ford on tariffs. This ad spend is bigger than the last Made for the U.S. campaign Ontario launched just over a year ago. That one was about $50 million and doesn't look to have moved the needle. Still, the finance minister insists it is worthwhile to keep speaking out against tariffs in the U.S.
They don't help. They drive prices up. They hurt jobs. So I think we're going to not relent in telling our perspective to the American people.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
The first of 6 budget consultation meetings will be held this evening. The city says residents will have an opportunity to ask questions and learn about this year's budget process and financial challenges. Tonight's meeting at the St. Lawrence Market North Building goes from 7 to 9 p.m. The second budget consultation will be held in Etobicoke, Olympium on Sunday afternoon, and there will be meetings in North York and Scarborough next week. The city will also hold 2 virtual meetings at the end of the month. People who want to participate can register through the City of Toronto's website.
The federal government is contributing $283 million to allow for the construction of more homes in Downsview. The money will be used to expand the capacity of the Black Creek sewer system.
Once complete, this investment in partnership with the City of Toronto will catalyze the construction of up to 63,000 new homes on the Downsview site. And the Black Creek trunk sewer is 15 kilometers long. It serves more than 350,000 people. We have come to the point now where growth has outpaced capacity.
The minister says without an upgrade, the city can't approve new housing permits in the area. Officials say it will allow for the construction of up to 63,000 new homes and protect water quality. The City of Toronto is contributing $425 million to the project.
The ceasefire in Gaza is holding, but there is uncertainty over next steps as Hamas has yet to deliver the remains of 24 hostages and is reportedly regrouping militarily.
The U.S. president says the focus now is to provide food and medicine and rebuild the beleaguered enclave. As for the 20 living hostages released yesterday, They now face a long road to recovery. CTV's Heather Wright has the story.
An emotional and painful homecoming as the remains of 4 deceased hostages arrive at the Forensic Institute for Identification in Tel Aviv.
Learning we're only getting 4 of them was a big kick in the stomach.
Rotem Cooper's father, Amiram, was 85 years old when he was kidnapped from Kibbutz Nir Oz on October 7th. He was killed in captivity. His body is still in Gaza. Families were aware that all 28 deceased hostages would not be returned yesterday, but they hoped they would be able to give more proper burials.
It's very clear that Hamas is playing games, that Hamas is not really cooperating, is not really in good faith.
Hamas has said it will take time to find all the bodies as they aren't sure where they are all located. Late tonight, Israel announced Hamas would release more remains, their identities not yet known. In response to the delay, Israel said today it will delay the reopening of the Rafah border crossing into Gaza and reduce the amount of aid allowed in. By how much and for how long is not clear. In Gaza City, bulldozers cleared piles of rubble today, a first step in allowing people to return. But with limited equipment and an estimated 84% of the enclave destroyed, according to the UN, it will be a lengthy process.
We don't have enough equipment, enough loaders or bulldozers to carry out this work.
As Gaza begins to rebuild, questions remain about the durability of this ceasefire and the future of the enclave where Hamas has been trying to reassert itself in recent days. This video, reportedly taken in Gaza City, shows Hamas fighters rounding up several men in a circle and shooting them.
The bottom line is this really a peace deal, or is this only a hostage release deal plus a temporary ceasefire? It's still unclear, but I'm fearful that it's more the latter than the former.
Today, the United Nations put a price tag on how much it will cost to rebuild the enclave, $70 billion, with at least $20 billion needed over the next 3 years. Heather Wright, CTV News, Tel Aviv.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says India has agreed to readmit a complete group of our diplomats. Anita Anand is on a 3-day visit to the country following 2 years of strained diplomatic relations.
This is a step-by-step approach. It is a systematic approach that the Government of Canada is taking, and I am here to emphasize the importance of the comprehensive nature of the joint declaration and the work that we will do together in building the bilateral relationship step by step.
The minister insists Ottawa will not consider reopening trade talks until New Delhi allows the return of all of the diplomats. Both countries expelled each other's senior officials last year after the RCMP accused India of playing a role in violence in Canada linked to homicides and extortion.
Astronomers have discovered an object so large entire galaxies reside at its center. This is called a double-ringed odd radio circle. They likely consist of gas that is strongly influenced by magnetic fields and often reach 10 to 20 times the size of our Milky Way galaxy. But they're also incredibly faint and usually detectable only through radio light. This one is the most distant one known to date, located 7.5 billion light years from Earth, and is only the second that has 2 rings.
Coming up on CTV News, additional safeguards for kids on social media. Instagram introduces a PG-13 system to protect children from inappropriate content. We examine the new safety tools just ahead.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, if you get in a car accident, you expect your insurance company to repair it. But now more insurers are writing off vehicles instead of fixing them. One woman was shocked when her car was in a minor fender bender and it was written off. All of that story just ahead.
Hamilton was the hotspot of our province today at about 23 degrees. The record to beat today in Toronto was just over 25 degrees, so we were close to that. Our seasonal norm, though, is 14. We're going to be a lot closer to that over the next couple of days. And yeah, there's a few ups and downs this week with both the temperature and the weather conditions. We'll take you through the 7-day forecast coming up, and stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Vehicles today are safer than ever, with systems designed to keep you in your lane, control your speed, and prevent crashes.
All these added safety measures are making cars more expensive to repair and increasing the chance your vehicle could be written off after a crash. Here's Pat Foran with Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Michelle and Nathan. A recent study found almost a third of vehicles that get in accidents are now being written off, even in minor crashes. Cars contain so much new technology, some companies would rather write them off than repair them, which can be frustrating for car owners.
Somebody behind me jumped the gun and he hit the tail end of my car.
Carolyn Riley Joseph of North York says it was in August when another driver ran into the back of her 2020 Jaguar E-Pace. The rear bumper was damaged, but the car did not appear to have major issues. She went to a body shop to get a quote for repairs.
The first quote that I saw was about $4,000 and change. He did tell me that, once I bring in the car to be fixed and they actually hoist it up, they might find further damage underneath. I totally get that.
She was then quoted $8,000, and after an insurance adjuster checked the car, she was told it could be as much as $15,000. Even though the Jaguar is only 5 years old with 75,000 kilometers, she was told it would be written off and she would get a check for $26,000.
I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, the airbags didn't go off. It's not extensive damage. There's no damage to the frame.
Her insurance is with Echelon. When we contacted the company, a spokesperson said, Echelon carefully reviews and evaluates every claim. Typically, the vehicle would be a total loss when the cost to repair it is higher than its actual cash value. However, it's not always practical to repair a vehicle, even if the cost of repair is less than its actual cash value.
A total loss is typically just the most economical way to settle the claim. It's just a mathematical decision.
The Automotive Industries Association of Canada says cars are being deemed a total loss more often as parts cost more and there are delays to get them. Repairs have also increased in price, and so have rental car costs. But the main reason is the complex safety systems which use cameras, radar, and sensors.
We have to replace many, many, many more parts than we ever did in the past.
Riley Joseph is frustrated as she still owes more for the car than what she's being offered. The insurance company is moving ahead with plans to write off the SUV, even though she feels it should be repaired.
Honestly, I don't think there's any need for my car to be written off. So I'd like my car to be fixed.
And if a car is written off, you could buy it back as salvage. You'll get a smaller check from your insurance company, but get to keep the car. It can be risky, though, because you can't drive it until you do the repairs and have it inspected. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, for many of us, today was the first day of the work week after that nice long weekend. It was a really good start weather-wise.
It was a great long weekend, a beautiful Tuesday, and more nice days to come. We're seeing the temperature, kind of tick down, but at least there's no rain.
No rain for a little bit. I think we'll probably see a little bit of wet weather before the week is finished. But yeah, we have a couple of dry days to enjoy. And temperature-wise, yes, it is going to be a change compared to today. But today was another one of those much warmer than normal days. Not exactly remarkable when it comes to how high the temperature climbed, considering how mild it's been through much of this fall season. But yeah, tomorrow it's going to feel a lot more like fall. The weather has been a little more active in other parts of North America. There was a nor'easter that impacted the northeastern United States over the long weekend. And as you can see, there was some flooding in and around the New Jersey area, lots of power outages as well. And then for our neighbors in Western Canada, parts of the prairies, there was the first snow of the season in and around Regina, Saskatchewan, parts of the mountainous areas of Alberta. Here at home in southern Ontario, yeah, it's been a bit of a different weather story. We had a lovely long weekend, a great day today. It is 19 degrees still at this hour in Toronto as we make our way through the evening. The sun is now setting, so we're likely to see that temperature start to cool from here, eventually to a low of about 7 degrees. Mainly clear skies for the evening, increase in cloud cover through the overnight hours, and that's going to make for a cloudy start to the day tomorrow. But that cloud cover does clear in the afternoon. It will be mainly sunny And look at our forecast daytime high, 14 degrees. That's also seasonal. We're still going to be dealing with a bit of a northwest and northerly wind, so worth pointing that out. And tomorrow's sunrise time is going to be about 7:32 a.m. Highs of around 13 degrees tomorrow in places like Kincardine, Stratford, Vaughan. 14 degrees for you in the Burlington area. You'll find it a little bit cooler in and around Haliburton at 11, with, again, some of that cloud cover decreasing or moving out as the day goes on. Not much cloud to show you right now in southern Ontario. There is a disturbance that I'm watching. This one has the potential to bring showers to some parts of southwestern Ontario overnight tonight. This will mainly be for areas west of the GTA, so let's pause that around 3:30 in the morning. There's our cloudy start, followed by our sunny afternoon tomorrow. And then Thursday, filled with sunshine. Temperature-wise, we're still at or near seasonal. And then for Friday, increase in cloud cover. Here's our first chance of maybe some scattered wet weather. Again, that's for Friday. Then we're going to dry out a little bit again into Saturday. Next 3 days, again, Wednesday, Thursday look great for heading to the pumpkin patch. Friday, you might need the umbrella. Into the weekend, Sunday has the potential to bring us more significant rain. But ahead of that, mix of sun and cloud for your Saturday. And once again, 20 degrees. It's going to be a little bit cooler than that as we make our way through the middle part of next week. That's the forecast for now. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, passwords and credit card information exposed. Canadian Tire reveals a data breach, but says compromised customer accounts are still safe.
Tomorrow marks Breast Reconstruction Awareness Day, or Broad Day, in Canada.
And while the procedure is an important part of breast cancer recovery, a significant number of women are never told about their options. We get more from our health reporter, Pauline Chan.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Tracy Barkey had her second of 2 breast reconstruction surgeries just a couple of weeks ago. Her cancer journey began in 2018.
I turned 50 and I thought, okay, I'll go for my mammogram. And my whole world blew up after that.
But reconstruction had to wait.
My reconstruction didn't start for a couple years because I had to do all the treatment first.
There's options for patients that have mastectomies, which is complete removal of the breast. There are options for patients that have lumpectomies, which are just part of the breast is removed but needs to be reconstructed. And then there's procedures for reconstruction that happens right at the same time as the cancer treatment, and then treatment that can happen years later.
Barkey, who works in healthcare, knew reconstruction was an option, but Tanya Prasad says it was never discussed with her.
I was diagnosed 5 days after my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer as well.
It was only through her mom and support groups that she learned about breast reconstruction. Dr. Ron Samoji says part of the reason it's not discussed is patients already have a heavy emotional burden dealing with their cancer battle.
Is still taboo. People don't talk about it as much.
But also, many smaller centers just don't have the specialists required to do the reconstructions. Prasad chose implants.
I respect everybody's journey and what they choose, but ultimately I live with the outcome. And that was something that was really important to me.
I did not want implants.
Barkey, however, chose a more complex procedure called deep flap surgery, where abdominal fat is removed and used to reconstruct the breast.
The wait times are very long for this type of surgery. Not many surgeons can do it.
Both women are happy with their choices.
We try to let them know what the risks and benefits and complications are to the procedure. But really, medical education is so important for the patient before meeting us for consultation.
Dr. Waqas Jalil says we need to spread awareness, not only that the procedure is available and covered by OHIP, but that information about your options is important to make the right personal decision.
I have 4 daughters, so my biggest, I guess, for Broad Day, advocate for yourself, find your voice, because at the end of the day, you live with your own choices.
While Barkey's message for Broad Day is more succinct.
Get your mammograms.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Instagram is making major changes to what teens can see online.
Meta, the company that runs the popular social media app, says it's limiting access to PG-13 content and requiring parental permission to change the settings. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
Tori Beaumont knows how easy it is to get drawn into Instagram.
There's a lot of content on Instagram that's unregulated.
For her, the constant stream of videos and photos can sometimes be too much.
I've seen a lot of really gory stuff on there, some very explicit things on there. It's very good that I feel like they're cracking down on that sort of censorship.
Now, Meta says it's limiting teen accounts to PG-13 content by default and requiring parents to approve any changes. The new system is designed to be easy for parents to understand.
We're doing this to really speak the language of parents who are much more familiar with movie ratings in terms of kind of a familiar model for those who are using Instagram.
It's stuff like this, just any type of killing, anything.
But 17-year-old Bahir Zai says he still has access to mature content.
It does give you a warning saying it does have violence or something, and you could either click CUI or you can click just to see the post.
Most kids are just scrolling through reels and stuff like that. I feel like it's a good feature to stop kids from seeing things they're not meant to see yet.
Some parents are already taking steps to filter what their kids see.
When I made the accounts for my kids, I put their ages in and I made sure that everything was tied into what they were doing, and I went to my account to filter it all out.
One technology expert says the new measures may not catch every case.
They will start using artificial intelligence to determine if a child is being truthful or is lying about their age. But again, that technology, not 100% perfect. There's still a lot of kids slipping through the cracks.
I have a little reservation about AI being used to try and determine the age of my kids, because it could actually, people who are old enough get scanned young, and it could cause all sorts of problems.
And even teens like Tori Beaumont say the system won't be perfect.
I think it's good that they're trying to put age verification things in place, but I don't think that it's going to work, because let's be real, anyone can lie about their age online.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Sad news from the world of R&B. Singer D'Angelo has died.
Send it up, send it through, send it right back to you.
The singer's family confirmed he died today after a battle with pancreatic cancer. D'Angelo, whose real name is Michael Eugene Archer, rose to fame in 1995 with his debut album, Brown Sugar. He was quickly recognized as a leader in a neo-soul movement, along with Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, and Maxwell. His second album, Voodoo, reached #1 on the Billboard R&B chart and earned Grammys for Best R&B Album and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. D'Angelo was 51 years old.
50 years after 3 young men from Mississauga and Toronto formed Triumph, they are being inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame.
CTV's Andrea Case caught up with 2 of the band's musicians earlier today to talk about the legacy of writing their own music.
The music has kept the power rock trio Triumph going for 50 years. Drummer and vocalist Gil Moore first recruited producer and bass player Mike Levine, and then lead singer and guitarist Rick Emmett. They're now being inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame on Friday, October 17th at the Meridian Arts Centre.
Really great. I mean, knowing that your songs resonated with some people, that doesn't happen when they first come out. It happens over the decades, you know. That's when you actually get to see the residual value, you know, of some of the lyrics and some of the memories that they, you know, evoke in your fan base. So it's a great moment, I guess, in our career.
The trio didn't start out performing their own songs. They were a cover band.
We'd do 4 sets a night. One would be a Led Zeppelin set. One would be a Deep Purple set, one would be a Jimi Hendrix set, and then the last set would be a couple other covers, but we'd start putting in our own music. Because the last thing you want to do is go up there and have people throw tomatoes at you because they don't know what the heck you're playing.
They found their voice, and eventually the audience sang along.
This huge choir, and you just go, you get chills up down your spine because you go, hey, that's our song.
Triumph has sold 15 million albums worldwide and earned 18 gold records.
It sure means a heck of a lot to a lot of people. So I think that's what matters to us. It's more like what it means to them is what it means to us, not what the songs directly mean to us. They were just, it was art, we created it, you know, we worked on them hard and we did our best, but seeing the fans embrace the songs after so many years is really rewarding.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
And after the break, tapping into artificial intelligence to organize your holiday shopping. A new study finds 1 in 4 shoppers plan to use AI to help hunt for deals. We'll explain.
We heard on the radio that there was a big explosion.
Updating our top stories, 7 workers were injured, 4 critically, after an explosion this morning in North York. It happened at a condo under construction near Shepherd and Leslie. Officials say the incident occurred in a boiler room on the 28th floor. At this point, the cause of the explosion is not known. The Ministry of Labor is investigating.
The smell was maybe battery acid smell. Maybe that's probably what you would expect from a factory, perhaps. We're very fortunate in that the wind was not coming our direction.
Residents who live near the former Goodyear plant in Bowmanville say they're concerned about the impact on their health and the environment after fire tore through the abandoned facility over the weekend. Flames breaking out early Monday. They could be seen shooting from the roof. Officials say the water used to put the fire out remained on the site and was not discharged into nearby waterways, although samples were taken. They stress there is no risk to air quality, but are asking residents to stay away from the site.
Don't want to sound like I'm jumping off the bandwagon, but I think the train's almost gone, yeah.
We've done it before. We can do it again. I love the Jays.
And Jays fans are holding out hope the team can bounce back after dropping the first 2 games of the ALCS. Toronto lost to the Seattle Mariners during games 1 and 2 at the Rogers Centre. The team is now in Seattle for game 3, which will take place tomorrow.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photos, or video of breaking news, let us know.
A key deal in the gas sector is on track to be finalized by the end of the year. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has the details.
The deal that would allow Sunoco to acquire Parkland has passed a key hurdle. The $9 billion U.S. agreement would allow Sunoco, an American fuel distributor, to take over Parkland, a retailer and refiner based in Alberta. It has passed a review under the Investment of Canada Act, which weighs the benefit of foreign ownership in a Canadian company. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar didn't change much. It ended the day at 71.21. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 80 cents to 58.27. Western Canadian Select is down more than $2 to 47.77. And the TSX shot up over 500 points today, sending it back up over 30,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The Canadian softwood lumber industry is grappling with an additional 10% global tariff. There's already a 25% tariff on some wood products.
It's all meant to keep Canadian lumber out of the U.S. market, a move by Trump that hurts both countries. CTV senior political correspondent Mike LeCouture has reaction from the industry.
Despite that positive meeting at the White House a week ago, those U.S. tariffs on Canadian wood and furniture took effect at midnight. And people in the industry say it's already hurting. Some are calling it devastation on top of an already bad situation. With new tariffs taking effect today on lumber and some furniture, the head of one company is worried about his firm's future.
We used to employ 400 people. Now we are less than 100. That was before the 45% duties.
With the additional levy added at midnight, lumber producers now face 45% tariffs on softwood. There's also a 25% tax on furniture like kitchen cabinets and vanities. On January 1st, that will double to 50%.
This additional tariff means that Canadian wood has a higher tariff rate going to the United States than Russia does.
The Canadian Kitchen Cabinet Association represents 3,700 companies, and many of their goods go south.
Some of them were exporting up to 80% of their product to the U.S. I mean, you know, some of these companies employ 500 people, and they just can't turn around on a dime.
The association wants the federal government to institute a Buy Canadian provision on taxpayer-funded housing projects to favor local companies, while the forestry industry wants Canadian and American negotiators to make lumber a priority in the ongoing trade talks.
We get this is complex. There are a lot of balls in the air here.
But in the last week, our workers in forestry are not feeling like we're a priority.
In an interview this weekend on CTV's Question Period, Industry Minister Melanie Joly said the federal government is focused on negotiating deals for all industries affected by tariffs, including lumber. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canadian Tire says some customer information was involved in a recent data breach. The retailer says the breached information belongs to shoppers who had an e-commerce account with Canadian Tire or its other banners, including Sport Chek, Marks, and Party City. The data included names, email addresses, and in some cases, incomplete credit card numbers. The company says the information is not enough to access accounts and make purchases. The breach was first identified October 2nd, and the company says it's working with experts to enhance its security.
Canada Post mail delivery resumes today in some parts of the country, with workers returning to the job as the union shifts from a nationwide strike to rotating walkouts. The strike began September 25th, the second in less than a year after the federal government announced plans to restructure Canada Post, which is on track to lose $1.5 billion this year. The restructuring includes ending door-to-door delivery. Well, as holiday shopping season approaches, more Canadians are turning to artificial intelligence to help them get it done.
A new report from Deloitte shows half of shoppers have used AI in the past 3 months. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has more.
Amanda Kiley isn't shopping for the holidays just yet, but she's already getting a little help from ChatGPT.
I get it to help me because I have 4 kids, so it makes it easier to get ChatGPT to help me organize it. I do ask where to go.
Deloitte's new holiday retail outlook found half of those surveyed have used artificial intelligence in the past 3 months, up from 33% last year. And about 1 in 4 say they plan to use AI tools this holiday season. But whether it's online or in person, one thing hasn't changed. Most consumers are still chasing discounts.
AI is being leveraged to ensure that you get the most personalized experience from the brand and that they're resonating with you across all channels.
And while some are using AI to do custom searches, compare products, and get inspiration, the survey found only 17% of consumers fully trust AI and 70% worry about how much personal information it collects.
We'll be at the kitchen table, we'll talk about something we're looking at getting, and then all of a sudden, the next day, something pops up, so obviously it's a little bit spooky.
Others, like Ann Scott, who is picking up an online order, say she doesn't mind the occasional personalized discount as long as the technology doesn't go too far.
I'm not big on artificial intelligence because it drives me crazy that Big Brother is watching everything you might search.
Deloitte says on average, 1 in 4 shoppers now expect retailers to use AI, but earning the trust of consumers could be the biggest deal of all.
I think it's a very interesting concept, but I'm also a little bit concerned what they do with that data.
And that was CTV's Caitlin Wilson. Just ahead, Mother Nature meets the manufactured. Thousands of metallic leaves hang from above, creating a dynamic space below. We check out the copper canopy after the break.
Tonight, an innocent man dies from meth.
And he was screaming out, "I want my mom, I want my mom, I'm dying, I want mom."
Canada's lethal link to New Zealand's growing addiction and how the drug was smuggled in. Later on CTV National News.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
A new art installation along Toronto's harbourfront is turning heads.
CTV's Jessica Smith has more on the idea behind Copper Canopy and how the artist plan to keep the installation living long after its leaves have come down.
Art out in the open air, flowing within its environment.
It's moving, and the idea is that you are kind of immersed in this blanket that you're walking underneath. It's this canopy.
Suspended in the air are 3,000 copper leaves above Ontario Square outside of the Harbourfront Centre. The work is part of a new installation called Copper Canopy.
It's draped in a way that it kind of moves with you, so depending on where you approach it from and where you're standing, it has a slightly different kind of aesthetic to it.
Day or night, the Copper Canopy creates distinct shadows, reflections, and sounds designed to immerse passersby.
The copper itself is able to reflect the light and create the filtering shadows, which was kind of the effect that we wanted, overlaying the natural with the manufactured.
It almost has this kind of meditative quality to it where you almost want to stand, you want to hear just the shivering of the leaves that kind of really enhances this experience.
Once the installation ends, a new life for each copper leaf will begin.
They'll be partially given back to the community as souvenirs through a workshop, and then also be given to the resident artists here at the Harbourfront Centre.
The copper canopy here outside of the Harbourfront Centre is free to come and enjoy and will be in place through to November 16th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
How about that sunset? Beautiful.
It's spectacular. It's like watercolor, all beautiful. And will we have more of these perhaps this week?
I think so, because, yeah, we're going to have more in the way of sun mixed with cloud. That's where we often get these pretty skies. And, yeah, tonight's sunset time was 6:35 p.m., so it has already happened. Let's take one more look at what you can expect tomorrow, beginning with your wake-up weather. A little bit of cloudiness to kick off the day, but we will be back into sunshine by the afternoon. Let's take you to Seattle. Important Game 3 happening tomorrow night at T-Mobile Park. And it looks like for the game time, local time, 5:08 p.m., the sun will be shining. 7-day forecast for us back here in Toronto looks like this. Some wet weather, scattered wet weather for Friday, and perhaps some steadier rain into Sunday. But Saturday looks good. Nathan and Michelle.
Thank you, Lindsay. That is it for us, but you can join Omar Sajudina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Natalie Johnson with your next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.